You believe that the Storm matchup against Miracles is not that bad for Storm. So.
I think most casual followers of Legacy just assume, oh yeah, you go turn 1, Divining Top, turn 2 counterbalance. That's as good as Chalice the Void, and then you just win the game. It's not really that simple. And in the sideboard, again, Craig gets access to Abrupt Decay, so he can break out the lock. And there's just a lot of dead weight in the Miracles deck game 1. There's a lot of Sweeper, Swords to Plowshares, Terminus, and so forth.
There's no Lebanovich here, folks.
He's shown up.
You guys can't see him. He's got a bag of goodies with him. I believe there might be some donuts in the bag. It's unclear.
Former SCG commentator,
yep.
Pro Tour champion.
Balding.
The pride of New Jersey.
Yeah, it's really
Dude,
not good. I had to let him have it there.
I'm also balding, so
yeah,
that's not
true.
a fair.
That's true.
It's not a fair beat.
We're gonna see what's in the. You know, we're gonna look what's in the box.
Eventually, we all bald, but not all of us get to be cool. So I know which one I'm taking.
Well, I read in a book once that balding is not a choice, but being bald is. So just shave it all off.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to say.
We're getting to that. We're getting to that point.
We're going to open the special delivery after the match is over. Because I don't even know what's in here.
And Osip, now that he's taken a step away from Magic, he still plays, not nearly as much as he used to.
He went X3 at Grand Prix Pittsburgh last weekend.
Yep. He is now in full-fledged Brooklyn hipster mode.
Okay.
So he just knows all the good eateries in the area.
Yeah. For Craig, he's going to start things off with a flooded Strand. See what land he does want to search up here. He's going to go with an Underground Sea. Down to 19. We'll see where he wants to start. He does have a copy of Duress in hand, and he will cast a Duress. Get an idea of what Oliver is working with. Swords of Plowshares, a Ponder, a Vendilion Click, and just a bunch of lands here. Island, Volcanic Island, Arid Mesa, Scalding Tarn.
Good news here for Krempels, and I think Ponder will be down in a moment.
Now, Craig does have a copy of Xantid Swarm in hand, so maybe there's some interest in taking the Swords of Plowshares. I think it's unlikely.
Maybe, but Tomajko also has no counter spells in his hand, so it's unclear how much the Xantid Swarm really matters. It's possible if Craig feels like, well, my hand definitely kills on turn 3. Even if Tomajko rips counter spells because of Xantid Swarm, then you can take the Swords to Plowshares. But most normal hands there, I think, are going to want to take the Ponder.
Ponder was the selection. Flusterstorm was the draw. That's a good one to not know about if you're Oliver. Got to be pretty happy about that.
Yep.
Pluto Delta the draw here for Craig. Cabal Therapy in hand here for Krempels.
Again, Therapy, named Vendilion Click, which he knows about and is a piece of disruption, and a clock. And then he can know about the Flusterstorm, which is very valuable. And then the Xantid Swarm might just become flashback on Therapy, not anything to do with counterspells.
These two former Open Series champions. Craig here in New Jersey.
Yep.
Got the job done in Legacy with Jeskai Delver.
Craig Krempels, 2 Grand Prix top 8s to his name, good Pro Tour finishes, was second place in the Rookie of the Year race, I believe, in 2004, losing to now Magic Hall of Famer Masashi Oiso. 9th place at Pro Tour Yokohama. Some good results, not a household name, but back in the mid-2000s had a lot of good tournament success.
Former national champion.
Former national champion, last big money national champion. That was a $20,000 or $25,000 tournament, I believe, Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, no, that one was in Baltimore.
You sure?
I got 9th in that one. I'm sure. No, I'm wrong. I got 9th in the one Luis won. Yep. Never mind. You're right. He did get it done in Kansas City. You're right. Xantid Swarm is going to come back.
That's not how this works. Krempels can just cast the Xantid Swarm. Tomajko, assume he lets it resolve. Then Craig has priority.
Yep.
He can immediately sacrifice it to flashback Cabal Therapy, which is a cost. And now Tomajko's hand is just Swords to Plowshares and lands.
There's Volcanic Island. Cabal Ritual the draw. I think Craig right now glutted a little bit because he has 2 Infernal Tutors.
Yes. I mean, the path here that I see, no Storm Expert, is you can Infernal Tutor, reveal Cabal Ritual, get another Cabal Ritual. That gets a 4th card in your graveyard. The Polluted Delta is number 5, and then you can Ritual up the next turn and cast the Infernal Tutor for ad nauseum. Try to go from there.
And just hope that Oliver doesn't draw anything in the meantime.
Right, it's a 2-turn window, but I don't know if his hand really has any other path.
At this point, it doesn't. We don't know what the draw step will yield, but he's going to get another Cabal Ritual. Oliver's hand not very exciting right now. Looks like just swords and lands. He'll draw a card. Force of Will.
Not quite.
Yeah, I don't think there's another blue card in his hand. I believe right now it's swords, Force of Will, and 2 lands.
Yes.
There's Lotus Petal.
And Lotus Petal is a huge draw here from Craig because he's in the market for mana, and I believe it makes sure that one of these Cabal Rituals is with Threshold. 4 in the graveyard, Blue Devil is 5, Lotus Petal 6. The first Cabal Ritual is then 7. The second one is then 5 mana.
Yep.
There is a question if Craig's willing to go for it, but it's not getting any better. His hand has no disruption in it. It's only 2 draw steps. He's probably got to let it rip.
Yeah, that's the reason. And I think Craig is kind of thinking about this a little bit. It's kind of uncomfortable, but I think I'm with you. I think this is a situation where you just don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that Oliver can have here. Force Will plus blue card over his past 2 draw steps. Snapcaster Mage for the Flusterstorm. But again, you give him more draw steps, you give him more opportunity to get there.
Yes.
And also, you know right now, given the duresses and Cabal therapies, that he's working with the swords, and you know at least 1 land. I don't know if he knows 2 of the lands, but he knows at least 1 land. So he's going to start with Cabal Ritual. So that's spell 1. Now here's another Cabal Ritual. Neither with Threshold.
Okay.
Now here's Infernal Tutor, so he's down to 2.
Interested to see what the sequencing here is. Because Craig could have just had one of these at Threshold if he was going to go down this road.
Okay.
Oh, I get what he's doing
Okay.
here. So instead of just trying to go for broke and say, all right, I'm going to go for an ad nauseum tendrils kill and maybe get blown up by a single piece of disruption, he's going for an Empty the Warrens kill.
Yep. This will be for 5.
This is much better if Tomajko has drawn something relevant, but it is a slower kill.
2-turn kill. You don't know if Oliver's left in Terminus or not.
Yep.
I think you'd be a little surprised potentially if he did. Well, the way he drew his card leads me to believe he did. Now that's an interesting draw step.
A Monastery Mentor is pretty good here.
Yeah, it is.
Because now Monastery Mentor with Source to Plowshares means he has 2 blockers. And 10 goblins is not all that many. I mean, fortunately for Krempels, Tomajko's hand's still pretty light on spells. It's just the Force of Will and lands.
Yep.
But if he starts cantripping, if he's pondering into Brainstorm type of stuff next turn, he could come back.
And Craig doesn't have much of an option now at this point. Oliver's going to take a little bit of damage from these fetch lands. But he doesn't have a ton of options right now.
And Craig took a conservative route here. Monastery Mentor is about the worst case scenario for the path that he took. I suppose a sweeper is worse, but the next best thing is Mentor.
Here's the swords. It's going to make a token. Greg's going to get a life. Now the token here, the monk gets a 1/1.
Yeah. And whether or not this token trades or eats something is a huge difference in the way the math works out here. Because it's going to be tight.
So Craig, in a weird way, Craig needs Oliver to draw like counter spells. Just spells he can't cast. Let's see what the draw is here. Just to land.
Okay,
Flames, pass the turn
very
back.
good news for
Yep.
Craig.
And if you're Craig, you almost don't want to cast a spell.
Well, Craig made all the plays he made trying to play around Force of Will a little bit, so there's no reason to play into it now.
Yep. Brainstorm the draw. Tomajko's down to 5. Now, Brainstorm can get him a lot of different places here.
Yep. You can start chaining together some cantrips here.
Mm-hmm. Rest in Peace, Island, Swords. Yeah, if Brainstorm was able to find spells, this gets bad for Krempels now.
Yes.
Tomajko is making a heck of a comeback. He's going to play Rest in Peace. Gets to make another token.
And he doesn't want to plow right now.
No.
Because he wants to get the prowess triggers off those monks and swallow up the goblins rather than trade.
Krempels will draw. He'll attack with everything. And this is where it gets bad. Because now Swords is going to take care of a token. He gets to make another token. And the current monk tokens that are already on the battlefield, those are 2/2s now. So he's going to lose 4 tokens, only deal 1, put Tomajko down to 4. And the other thing that's bad news here for Krempels is it doesn't take long for Tomajko to kill from here.
Yeah, this is a pretty fast kill too.
So this is some of the power of Monastery Mentor. Oliver feeling confident enough to attack now.
Krempels is still drawing to his natural tendrils because he has Lion's Eye Diamond left over in hand.
Sure.
So he's not drawing dead here. But he's going to have to get fairly lucky.
It's pretty slim. Drew a copy of Cabal Therapy. You mentioned Natural Tendrils isn't out right now. He'll cast Cabal Therapy.
If I'm Tomajko, I'm definitely casting Force of Will on this.
I just want the token.
Krempels is very likely to be naming Force of Will here anyway. And the token's worth a lot.
Yep. Now, the other card that Craig has in his hand is Dark Petition. He's just, I believe his hand is Dark Petition, Lion's Eye Diamond. So what he really needs is just a way to generate mana.
Yep.
Because he can Dark Petition for Tendrils, pass. He's at 19, so his life total's pretty high. Again, for all of this to work out in Craig's favor, I think he needs Oliver to not draw anything.
Yes.
Because he can't allow Oliver to increase the clock.
It needs to be lands and creatures, basically.
Yeah. You know, if like a Sensei's Divining Top is found, this game probably ends. There's a Swords. Surgeon attack for 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Krempels is going to fall down to 11. I think he needs that land right now. Or just some source of mana. Second Lion's Eye Diamond is not terribly helpful. Though, what that does do...
I think the second Lion's Eye Diamond is actually pretty awesome.
So what that does is if he draws a source of mana, he can kill him next turn.
Right.
Yep.
Because he can cast Dark Petition, play the 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds, sack and response, blah, blah, blah.
Here are the attackers. Snapcaster Maid's the draw for Tomajko, but that doesn't help. What's the draw for Krempels? Polluted Delta. Well, he's got no choice.
Yep. He can crack the 2 deltas, assuming there's lands left in the deck. He gets 5 mana. He puts the Lion's Eye Diamonds onto the table. Plays Dark Petition. In response, sacrifices the Lion's Eye Diamonds, 6 mana floating. Plays Tendrils, and just hopes that that's good enough.
Yep. He's going to go down to 3. You have to imagine that there are 2 lands left in the deck to search. There's an island. There's a swamp. He'll play Dark Petition with it on the stack, crack both the Lion's Eye Diamonds. He'll have 6 mana, and now he's going to go get himself a Tendrils, as he's explained to Oliver, and that is going to do it. Greg Krempels is going to win this match here over Oliver Tomajko, 2-1. Storm is going to take care of Miracles, and a very interesting one. You don't see Counterbalance, you don't see Sensei's Dividing Top. Almost an insane comeback there from Oliver, but a huge top deck there from Craig.